Today I'm going to show you the 3 most important principles when you're starting chess. How to control the center, how to put your king safe, and how to develop your pieces. And for this I'm going to be playing on chess.com against a victim that I will find on the Discord server, the Chesscape Discord server. So here we are playing against Kanmi, who's 900 ELO, who's from Brazil. I put my pawn in the center. As you can see, this is very important to put your pawns on the magic square, we call it. He develops a piece. And now we're going to play bishop g5. This is called the Trompovsky opening. And we put a pressure basically on his knight straight away. He puts c6. It's extremely important in chess to take the center. So to put a pawn basically on these 2 squares. So you actually, with 2 pawns here, you are controlling these 4 squares. So your opponent can never put pieces there. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the fact that this bishop is actually pinning this knight. This knight cannot move, otherwise I'm taking this queen. So what I'm going to do, now that I know that this knight cannot move, I'm going to take the center by playing e4. He cannot actually take on e4, because otherwise he loses the queen. So let's see how he's going to react to this. Usually here, what he should do, he shouldn't allow the bishop to be here, and he could actually just bothering me by playing this move h6, asking a question, okay, what do you do with the bishop here? Can you just go away? But he's playing a move that is totally correct. But now you're thinking, I could be pushing, and now the knight cannot move. But there is a trick. Let me show you how it goes. If I push, what's going to happen is that, yes, this knight could be lost, but he has a little trick. I don't know if he's going to see it, which is to attack my bishop as well. And if the bishop actually goes back, he can push the second pawn. So this bishop that is now here, that would be here if he does this and this, actually this bishop is not pinning this knight anymore. That's the point of it. He didn't see it. He doesn't know this variation, so he's actually giving a piece already. So we're going to take it. That 900 ELO, you need to understand a little bit more the openings to try and understand how to unpin yourself with this trick. He could have attacked the bishop goes here, you do this, now the bishop is forced to move, and now the knight that was here wasn't pinned anymore. Now you have an advantage in material. When in chess, when you have an advantage in material, you have to actually reduce the amount of pieces that you have on the board. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to exchange a bishop here. He should take with the queen, obviously. You don't want to be taking here with the pawn, because you would have what we call doubled pawns. And doubled pawns, what it does is that, imagine that basically this pawn now is here. Okay, he played the right move. But if he took with the pawn, now he would have here what we call an isolated pawn, which means a pawn that can never be defended by another pawn. Okay, he took with the queen. So what do we do here? We have the center. We are controlling a very important square. We are controlling these 2 squares. We could either play this to continue to challenge basically the center. We could play this move, or we could, and this is the point, you have to develop your pieces. And usually what you do is that you develop this knight and this bishop as fast as you can, so you can castle. That's the point. So here we're just going to play knight f3. It's also controlling a square in the center. Don't put your knight on h3. If you put your knight on h3, the issue with this is that he controls way less squares. Imagine a knight being here. Now he controls this square, this one, this one. Let me do it again. If a knight is here, let me put another color, he only controls these 4 squares, red squares. Look at my knight being here, closer to the center. What happens is that this knight is controlling 8 squares. Let's go with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's the difference. So he's twice as powerful, actually, the knight, if you put it towards the center rather than putting it on the side. Now he pushed this move. So this is not developing a piece. This is not putting the king safe in the opening. This is not trying to take the center. This is a pawn move that is basically on the aisle, which could be an issue because it's not achieving much. Maybe, and usually beginners get a bit scared from checks. And what they do, he saw that maybe I was going to play this move, bishop b5, which is a check. So he said, I don't want this to happen. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put a pawn here. So if he comes to b5, I'm just going to take it. The issue with this is that, first of all, when the pawn was here, I could play this. Let's say the pawn is here, not here. But you could have played basically just c6. So this was never an issue. Anyway, let's play fast because I only have 1 minute now. So now we do the same thing. We continue to develop our pieces, either here or the bishop on e2, to try and castle. That's our point. So we're going to put it here because we are thinking that one day he's going to castle. He's going to have his king here. So I want my bishop to already have an eye there and control actually this square, right? To kind of attack it later on. So you see what I'm doing is actually nothing special. I'm only applying very clear principles. I know I want to castle as fast as possible in the opening. So I basically put these two pieces that were here, I put them out, right? Now he's doing something. He's attacking twice this, right? You always have to think about stopping the plan of your opponent before continuing your own ideas. He's attacking it twice, but there is a trick. Let me show you. I'm going to castle. And if he takes, he loses on the spot. Because I would take with the knight. Look, if he takes, I take with the knight. The queen takes, and I would have played, the king was here. I would have played a discovery check. The bishop was checking actually the king that was here, and then queen take queen. I know it's a bit complex. Okay, and here we continue to develop our pieces. Either this, okay, I have 25 seconds, so I have to actually... Now we're just protecting basically the pawn. Then we're going to finish our development by just basically moving the knight. Then we're going to put the rook here. This is called, by the way, a semi-open file. This is not called an open file. The reason why when you put the rook here is not called an open file is because there is still a pawn here. There is no pawn on our end, right? There is no white pawn here, if I put it, but there is still a pawn. If there was no pawn here, this would be an open file. When there is a pawn, it's a semi-open file. And when there is no pawn at all, and when there is the two pawns, sorry, his black pawn, and let's say I have a white pawn here, then the file is closed. So closed, semi-open, and open the files can be, right? I have 20 seconds, so I'm going to try to do something here and not lose on time. But I'm trying to show you, I mean, to explain the most I can. So we're going to play this. Maybe we can go and bother him here. This is actually the weakest point in his game. And now we continue our development. We bring the last rook actually here. We play h3, also because we need to play actually pretty fast. He's trying to make us lose on time. There is 19 seconds left. I'm going to try not to do this. So maybe we can attack him with this kind of moves. I am thinking maybe this. So he cannot take because he's pinned, right? He cannot take basically here because of the pin. Next time I'll try with 10 minutes. I think it's better with 10 minutes. Here, I could have taken also here. This is fine. Okay, let's just play this. The issue with 5 minutes is that I have so many things to tell you, but 5 minutes is really short. So I would have, yeah, I should have played in 10 minutes, I would say. Here, I'm going to go with my knight in the center. Put your pieces in the center. You can't really go wrong with this. Also, if he doesn't see, I'm also going to take this one. Or maybe there is h6. And then basically there is a pin on my queen. So yeah, I can't do this. So let's play this. If he takes, okay, I'm going to take with this. And now I guess he should be pushing the pawn and trying to basically bother me this way. Pushing and pushing to try and basically, you know, target my king basically. Okay, now we are really in the middle game. And this is where in the middle game everybody gets a little bit worried. But here what I would do is I have a clear target. This pawn is actually weak. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do this. And I'm going to try to pile actually on this e6 square to try and eat this pawn. As simple as this. Because I see that this is the one that cannot be defended by another pawn. Right? So this is the weakest link. Also, this knight is actually wasn't doing anything here. And if you see this, try to bring it basically in the game, right? Now we play this, we're using the pin. because he cannot take, because he is pinned by the queen, right? And we're going to try to attack the king. As you can see, he has his pieces on this side of the board, and he should have his pieces more, I would say, you know, like this, protecting the king. As you can see, the king is a little bit lonely, so they're not thinking about the king's safety here, and he should have. And he's going to get most likely checkmated because of this. Because look at the king, how lonely he is here. Now we do this. This one is pinned. We play again with the pin. Actually, this game is really about the pin, I would say. But it's not always the case. Here we can take. Now, the rook doesn't have any square here to go to. So I could just play rook here whenever this rook goes away, right? To actually check the king. That's what I can do here. We manage because we have 2 seconds increment. Whenever we play a move, it adds 2 seconds to the clock. So that's the reason why we didn't lose on time yet. And yeah, he can't really find a move here. It's extremely complex. And you see, when you don't have your pawns basically protecting the king, and the king is totally open, okay, he's giving a rook and the queen, because again is a pin. So I have a feeling I should have called this video actually the pin, right? You see, when you start advancing the pawns that are in front of your king, what happens is that this king becomes extremely, extremely weak. So now we're going to do a check here. There will be a checkmate pretty soon. He goes to f8. Maybe I go queen check, I guess. Queen check, and checkmate on the next move with the knight here, right? So yeah, you have to develop your pieces towards the center. Take the center with your pawns. Put your king safe. Avoid moving the pawns in front of your king, and you're going to do much better. All right, I hope you like this, and I'll see you on the next video.